How are you, friend? I'm Lemio King, and today I'll be discussing with you on immersion technology. This is INT 7213, assignment number one, and these are my agenda or topics that I will be discussing today. Our overview and background. Immersion technology is a very great topic to discuss, and I will be discussing BCI, which is the brain-computer interface. BCI is an electronic device that enables direct path of communication between an extend or person or external device and that of the computer. So we see that a lot of guys who have been making great research like Nicholas, Narunda, and Matt, these guys have given great contribution. And the importance of this whole brain computer interface is that it it had made a lot of progress, and it was created for repairing human connectivity and motion function, improve and help people with paralysis, those that are paralyzed and other things, which we'll be discussing further. Here a graphic picture of people that are paralyzed. As you can see that we will all hope that our friends, family member one day be able to walk, which make this technology very, very important. And everyone will embrace the idea that this is a future bones that will come up and that will help the general public or the world at large. We see the various functionality of this technology, as we can see that the EGG data receiver, which is able to transfer data information to an exoskeleton and help an individual to turn right, move, stand up, walk, or do something that a normal human being can do, which is very much great. And what great about this is that there are a lot of renowned organization, government, and scientific research that have been carried out. And there are a lot of contributions that have been made toward this technology, which I believe that it will be us sooner than we think. Another important aspect is the EGG cap that is used. This graphic shows the full functionality of the EGG function. As I said, that there are a lot of research by supporting organization, one which is the Korea government and the South Korea University. And they show the function of the technology, how the whole cap function and how electronic frequency is transferred from one point of communication to another point and down to the robotic exoskeleton that we see in this photo or in this documentary. And as we go further, we will already see that we will have a clear picture of what the whole BCR is about. This is a full documentary of the individual using the technology. As you can see, the guy on my left, you see that he is standing and he is capable of moving now. The EGG cap is planted on his head and he is able to move. And on the far right, this is a graphic photo of the technology was used 2004 during the World Cup, 2004 World Cup, to show the first human using this technology and to show someone making the first kick. So this was an expectation to help the general public to understand how important BCI is within our generation today. This is the full functionality for performing and testing. We see the SSVE P signal extraction, which give direct signal to the machine leading based signal analysis that give command classification in our middle as we see the diagram here. This gave a full view of what we are discussing, and the machine leading X-based signal analysis give command classification and to that of the exoskeleton that we able the person to walk, stand, turn, sit, or do anything that a normal person could do. There's a sensation that I just decided to put within this documentary to help you see what I am talking about. What was once some fiction today is becoming a reality. And you see in this documentary, there is a guy who was wounded, a military personnel who was wounded, but then with the help of BCI, he was able to function in the right way and able to move. But what makes the EGG or the exoskeleton and technology more better today is that the issue of planting chip into the human mind, as you can see here within in this video, of chip is planted into this fellow mind. And what happens if people hack this individual with this chip planted in his mind? So what was once some fiction have become reality, but what is great today is that we are able to see that this technology with the exoskeleton do not use of implanted chip into the mind of the human, but rather you have a cap that is more safer than planting a chip into the human mind, because there are a lot of surgery that have to be made. What happens if the brain is destroyed and other things? But this technology give a more reliable aspect of the BCI function that we see today in the brain interface on our Haber cycle, as we can see here. And as I point, you can see the full arrow to where the technology for, as we know that it's important to show where it's for within the Haber cycle. And from here, we can see how much is important. And just what the professor says, sometimes we may think that it may be the next 5 or 10 years, but what happened that a lot of these things that we see on the Haber cycle is that, as the professor said, that some of them may not even go up to that time. We may have it today, and it's true that from this discussion we can see that the BCI is already up to date. There are a lot of research, there are prototypes that have been made, and it's on the market. We go to the our next important phase of this topic. Organization identify. I decided to choose Providence Hospital, which I thought that is very, very significant for them to adopt this technology. We know that America is a very big nature, a very big country, and there are a lot of great hospitals. And I was thinking of Providence being in Michigan. And if you look on the map and looking at the top hospital in Michigan, you may not come top 10 hospital, you may not come Providence Hospital. But with this technology, if only the administration or the hospital can adopt it, it will give them great competitive advantage over the the competitor. And it will help them to go far within the technology area, because I tell you that if this technology get on the market, it will be a boom on the market, and a lot of people will go for it. With all these advantage of helping individuals to self-battle, help them to support the programming function that help patients to walk, turn, or sit, all these things is really needed today, and people are in great need of it. This is the full function of the sensation that I was just showing you, as you can see up here, and it gave you more clear picture of what we were talking about. Another important aspect is the risks and cost. One important problem is swinging and other movement within the exoskeleton that may sometimes have some tight. But what happened, researchers and scientists have made flexible material that help the patient to move and other things. And a very big question was, or what happens if this technology is hacked? Well, this is not like the brain chip implanting. This is a different form of technology in that the EGG cap can be moved and placed on the human mind at any time, which is very safe from hacking compared to what we had before of chip planted into the human mind. On the line, of course, there are millions of dollars that have been spent on this technology. We see that over 2.75 million euros have been spent, or roughly up to $3.5 million United States dollar. And we see that for the general public, from research gathered that if this technology come out, it will be ready for within 13 to 1500, which is very, very good for anyone to use. and very helpful for the general public that I will go for it. Some obstacles are legal consent, computer enhancement to human function. Will this technology bring more harm than good? These are questions that we need to ask. But with the technology, there are a lot of things that have been done in order to help improve it. Another legal issue is environmental or social issue that people may have. What happens if the person is using the technology? What is social issue that will be placed on them? Also, the location. We know that location play a very important part in business today. And with this technology be using other location, with they accept it, there are government regulation. Your competitor is another great fighter that may be an obstacle, but there are a lot of research and strategy that have been put in place to help this technology to function and meet all these challenges. These are my references, and thank you guys.